أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you're listening. Welcome to today's column of Anadid Daily. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for coming. Today we shall be looking at the effect of abusive word in Islam. The effect of using abusive word on one another in Islam. In our society today, people abuses one another without feeling remorseful about it. Probably they believe using abusive word on one another have nothing to do with the religion, or abusing people, cheating people, or doing such of illicit things to other people does not affect their deen. Well, today we shall be looking at what the Prophet ﷺ said about these acts and other related acts, and how it can affect your deen as a Muslim, and why you as a Muslim should defy from such acts. Thanks for coming once again. Jazakumullah khairan. Let's begin today's program. As-salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu narrates that a man abused Abu Bakr. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sitting, appreciating the forbearance and patience of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. He kept smiling. But when the man went on at length, when the man continued abusing Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu replied to some of what the man said. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam became angry and left. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu went after Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, "Oh Rasulullah, he was abusing me in your presence, but when I replied to some of what he said, you became angry and left." Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replied, "There was an angel with you, replying to him on your behalf. But when you replied to him, Shaitan got in, and I am not supposed to sit with Shaitan." He then added, "Oh Abu Bakr, there are three things, all of which are true. Oh Abu Bakr, there are three things, all of which are true. The first one, anyone who is wronged and he ignores it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah will help him out and strengthen him. Anyone who is wronged and he ignores it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah will help him out and strengthen him and give him more strength. Number two, anyone who begins to give, intending thereby to unite ties of relationship. Anyone who begins to give, intending thereby to unite ties of relationship, Allah will provide for him with much more because of it. Allah will provide for him with much more because of it. Number 3, anyone who opens a door of begging, desiring to increase his wealth, anyone who opens a door of begging, desiring to increase his wealth, Allah Azza wa Jalla increases his scarcity, increases his scantiness because of it. This hadith was reported by Musnad Ahmad. May Allah be pleased with him. What this hadith is telling us is one day Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was sitting with Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there was a man with him. The man was abusing Abu Bakr. As he was abusing Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu did not reply. And as he was not replying, this action was making Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to smile. He was appreciating the way Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was sitting calmly without replying to the man. But as the man continues, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu replied at a point in time, and this got Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam angry. And with this, he stood up and left. He left angrily. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu ran after him, and when he ran after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he inquired, "Oh Rasulullah, you saw him while he was abusing me in your presence, but when I replied him, you get angry." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said, "You know, when you were not replying him, an angel was with you, which was replying him on your behalf. But the moment you altered the word, the angel left and Shaitan stepped in." And Rasulullah then said, "You know, I cannot sit where Shaitan was sitting." The lesson we Muslims are supposed to learn from this particular statement is that the moment two people start arguing, the moment they start arguing, abusing each other, Shaitan has stepped in at that point. Shaitan is already with them. The angels of Allah has departed them at that point in time, and Shaitan had stepped in. So this is one of the lessons we're supposed to learn as Muslims. When people get you angry, when people makes you sad, and you think, fine, let me talk back, let me do this, let me do that, know that you are dancing to the tune of Shaitan. May Allah guide us against Shaitan. And also, at the concluding part, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu Bakr some undeniable truths, some truths that can never change. And the first one being that anyone who ignores for the sake of Allah, anyone who is wronged, anyone who is wrongly abused, anyone who is cheated, and decided to ignore such for the sake of Almighty Allah, Almighty Allah will strengthen such person. It will help him out and strengthen him. That is the promise of, that is the fact that Rasulullah tells Abu Bakr as the first thing. The second one is that anyone who spends, he spends from his wealth to unite his ties, to unite his family ties, to unite friendship ties, such person will have more. Allah will give such person more, multiple folds compared to what he has spent. And the third being that anyone who opens up a begging business, who starts begging, who believes that begging could make him rich, Allah will increase his scantiness. What that statement means is Allah will make him to continue to be in the needing position. He will continue to be needy. He will never be rich from his action. These are the facts that Rasulullah told Abu Bakr at the concluding part of that hadith. May Allah guide us against actions that could invoke shaitan into our life. And from this hadith, what has been said is using abusive word on one another, which is forbidden in Islam because it allows shaitan to have access to the life of Muslims. So let's look at another hadith in this direction before we call it a day for today's call. This hadith was also reported by Abu Hurairah, which says, Abu Hurairah narrated that Rasulullah once asked his Sahaba, that, do you know who is poor? Do you know who is poor? The Sahaba replied, the poor among us is he who has no money. The poor among us is he who has no money or property. Rasulullah explained, the poor among my ummah is one who will come on the day of judgment. The poor among my ummah is one who will come on the day of judgment with salah, with sawm, which is fasting, with zakah, those who had abused somebody, slandered someone, usurped the goods of another person, had shed blood or beaten another person. So, this one and that one will be given a part of the aggressor's good deed. This one and that one will be given a part of the aggressor's good deeds. Should his good deed fall short, before he clears what he owes, then the aggrieved person's sins and the fault will be transferred from them to him. The aggrieved person's sin and fault will be transferred from them to him, and at the end of it all, he will be thrown into hellfire. This hadith was reported by a Muslim. At the end of it all, he will be thrown into hellfire. What is this hadith trying to explain? Rasulullah this hadith was reported by Abu Hurairah, and he stated that Rasulullah one day asked the Sahabas that, do you know who is poor? The Sahabas said the poor person is someone who have no money or property. But Rasulullah said, nah, that's not a poor person. The poor person in my own ummah is a person who have a salat, who comes on the day of judgment with his salat intact, his zakat intact, his fasting, his sawm intact. Probably he even goes to Mecca to perform the Hajj and Umrah, and every other things are intact, perfect. But at the end of it all, he has abused somebody while he was alive and this person did not wrong him. He has slandered somebody. He has used his mouth to talk about things that someone did not do. Or probably he has backbite someone. He has usurped the goods of other person. Usurping the goods of other person. He has seen the goods of another person but decided to cover it and paint the person black. Did a lot of bad things to people. In short, he has cheated people while he was alive. Also, he has shed blood or he has beaten another person because he is more powerful. It might not be the person that actually beat, it might just order people to beat another person, probably using military to threaten another people or just using power on people. The statement could mean a lot. Beating people simply means cheating. He has done something that other people cannot revenge while they were alive. So, out of those people that he have slandered, those people that he have cheated, those people that he have usurped their good, those people that he have beaten, all of them, each of them will start taking part of his good deeds. They'll start taking part of his good deeds to cover up for what he has done for them on earth. The person that he beat, for example, will take part of his good deed. The person that he cheated will take part of his good deed. Every one of them will start taking part of his good deeds. And if after all this, his good deeds got exhausted, and he had not finished paying his debts of what he did on earth, some of these people, the sin of these people will start to be transferred to him in the ratio of what he did on earth. The sin of the first person will be transferred to him in the same rate at which he has done the kind of bad thing he did to that person on earth. The sin will be transferred to him. Sin of Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, and at the end of it all, there will be nothing to weigh his sin against because all his good deeds have gone. He only has sin, and he will be thrown into hell. Which means what this statement is simply telling us is that this particular person this hadith is referring to is a Muslim. So which means that among the Muslims, those that usually abuse easily, you see people without they doing anything to you, just abuse them. You just talk about them, you just cheated them without thinking, with believing that you are praying nothing, at least Allah will forgive you. There are things that are not easily forgiven, and part of such is the bad things you did to other people. Sins are in categories. There are sins that are direct disobedience to Allah, maybe not praying in the right time, not fasting in the right way, having money not going for Hajj. All those ones are direct sins you have against Allah. But there are some sins that are done against one another. Cheating people, slandering people. These are sins that you commit against your fellow Muslims. And these are the kind of sins that are more dangerous because they are not easily forgiven except someone meets the mercy of Allah. May Allah makes us to witness His abundance mercy. Amen. So this is where we shall be stopping for today's column of Analytic Daily. Thank you for listening once again, and please try to adhere to the warnings of the hadith. Defy from abusing people, defy from slandering people, because these little acts according to how we see things on earth. We see them as little, and not as little as we think on the day of resurrection. May Allah guide us against sins that could bring us to hellfire on the day of resurrection. And may Allah be pleased with both the listener and the reciter of the hadith. May this be written for us as a form of Ibaadah, and may it also serve as a reason why we shall witness Al-Jannah Firdaus. Inshallah, bi qudratillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Once again, ma salam.